Welcome to today's Stock and Flock Talk. I'm Dr. Carrie Rude with the Animal Dairy Veterinary Science Department, and we're excited to have Jessie Hadfield with us, and she is the state 4-H Agriculture and Animal Sciences Program Leader, and so we are really excited to have her talk to us and give us an update on the new youth companion animal programs. I would remind everybody to mute your mics. I think everybody is, and then go ahead and turn your video off because it's probably just distracting when she's presenting. If you want to ask a question, just unmute and ask it. And Jessie, can they do that sort of throughout the program? Is that all right?
Yes, please do. Stop me at any time.
Perfect. The other option is to use the chat box. So we'll kind of monitor that chat box as we go, but there's a chat symbol down there, and you can click on that, and you can chat with the folks that are in the room. All right, Jessie, take it away.
All right, thanks, Carrie. I appreciate it. So just a little bit of background about me and what I do. So since I know we have some new faces, I have been working for USU Extension for several years, but I have been up on campus for the last 2 years. I'm moving into my 3rd year now. And when I got hired, I was challenged to look for ways that we can tap into a market that so far has been untouched in the terms of 4-H. And so that's where this new youth companion animal programs hatched. We saw a need, and then I had the opportunity to apply for a USU Extension grant that helped me get this program kind of moving. So I have since finished that grant, and so I'm going to give you a little bit of background on the grant, but then also what we're doing now. And there's my slides. Okay, sorry. So just a little bit of history. Obviously, we saw the need in Utah. We have a lot of youth with pets, but we also see some other reasons in terms of research and science that pets are a part of our daily lives. And we're seeing a huge increase in research in terms of our human-animal interaction and how animals can help us cope with stresses in our daily lives, how to heal from physical illness, as well as emotional and mental stress. So over the last 100 years, animals have been an excellent tool for youth development, not just in the ways that I mentioned earlier, but also in terms of emotional support, gaining confidence, self-esteem, having a higher sense of responsibility, and also developing charity, which is all a huge part of Extension's youth program mission and things like that. We also see that animal therapy has been shown to reduce social isolation and different things like that, especially in some of our populations, like our new American communities. So our refugees coming in, as well as other minority and underserved populations. These are 2 studies that I found really interesting that since 2004, when the Early Childhood Education Journal did this one, and then last year when Clinical Psychologists produced theirs, a lot of research facilities have piggybacked off of these, so there's even more current research that's coming out now. But the Early Childhood Education Journal showed that youth that read with a dog or read to a dog had dramatically improved reading scores, even surpassing their peers in reading level. And especially for youth that have an English as a second language barrier, this really helped them. And then last year, Clinical Psychologists really focused on refugee populations and showed that both through interaction and ownership, so not only having a pet in the home, but just interacting with a pet or even like pet models, it helped reduce incidence of social anxiety. So pretty cool research coming out there. And when we think of our traditional 4-H projects, we think of horse and livestock and being a part of a club. But what we wanted to do with companion animals is also make these things come to life in our 4-H programs. And so our after-school programs have really focused on this aspect of this new program. And I'll talk a little bit about that here in just a minute. But a snapshot of Utah 4-H, you guys probably all know this, but you can see that the majority of our youth are going to be urban. And that this number has increased even just this last year. This is an older graphic from last year. I don't have the updated one from USU Extension just yet, but the project areas hold true. More than 57% of our youth enrolled in 4-H are involved in a horse, pony, or livestock contest or project area. And more than half of our volunteers are also in these project areas. But Despite that, our two largest areas, horse and livestock, are also the most limiting. We see that a lot of youth will self-select out of participating in these projects because of socioeconomic factors. If you don't have room for a horse in your backyard, then it's very hard to get into the horse program. And we've done some things to kind of shift that will be coming out this next year as well. And then with our livestock programs, we see zoning laws and other things that are very limiting in terms of allowing our youth to participate. And we have small stock, and we have a huge poultry program. We have youth that will show rabbits, meat rabbits and meat pens and things like that. But still hard to get our youth involved in an animal program if they don't have a background in it. So hard to see some new families coming in. But what we are seeing is that almost everyone has a pet, whether it's a pet goat or a guinea pig or a dog. We see a lot of companion animals, both in our youth that are showing our horse and livestock program or showing in those programs, as well as youth that are involved in other programs, our after school kids, our kids that are doing robotics, our youth that are doing cooking projects and things like that. And so this is an opportunity to really dig into those benefits for youth that don't have a meat goat in their backyard or don't have a horse. And so that's where this project really started. And so the Pet Advocate Project is what we call it. We call it Pet Advocate because we want these youth to gain the skills to be stewards of their animals and to learn to be good owners and have animal husbandry, but also have the ability to explain their projects to others and develop those leadership skills. So just a little overview about the project. And like I said, this has been going on for 2 years. So this is just what we have been doing, and then I'll explain where we're at later on. So everyone can be involved in the project. We have these 3 different portions of being a part of the Pet Advocate Project. The pet endorsement and pet shows. This is for kids that have pets in their home. The Pet Advocate Contest, which is a skill-a-thon that happens as a part of our state contests. And then Pet Partners, which is a pet therapy partnership with Pet Partners, which is one of our federally funded pet therapy certification centers. So the pet endorsement, any pet will do. We took a survey of what the most popular pets are, and those were dogs, rabbits, amphibians, arachnids, and other pets. So what fell into that category are geckos, lizards, fish, hermit crabs, tarantulas, then cats, and then pocket pets. And pocket pets, you can have 2 different definitions for pocket pets, but what we consider to be a pocket pet is just any furred animal that doesn't fit into another category. So we consider domestic rats and mice to be pocket pets, ferrets, chinchillas, hedgehogs, and then some of our smaller, like hamsters and gerbils and things like that. So in some of our curriculum, rabbits would also be included as a pocket pet, but since rabbits were so popular, we decided to just give them their own category. And so what we have is we have rank books. So if you have a youth that comes into your office and they have a hedgehog and they want to be a part of this project, and you don't have 3 other youth to be involved in a pet project, you can give them this rank book, and it gives them skills and different things that they can do to work towards achieving these different ranks at home. It's something that you can do as a club or as an independent study so that our youth are not limited if they're the only one in their county that has tarantulas. They can still work through this project. So the 9 standard pet categories that are included in the pet endorsement. So the pet endorsement is just a little bit different. It takes the Canine Good Citizen standards, and basically the whole purpose of it is to prepare these kids for their animals to be a good partner if they decide to move on and do animal therapy. And this is for our senior aged youth, so youth that are 16 and up, or younger youth that have a parent that's willing to be the pet partner. And these are the different species that are able to achieve that and become a pet partner and be certified to be therapy animals. And so camelids, that's our llamas and alpacas, cats, dogs, guinea pigs, hook-billed birds, miniature horses and livestock, pot-bellied pigs, rabbits, and then the other category, they have just a smattering of different animals that, because of research, we know that they're safe to go into these different facilities. And so if you have an animal that they want to be part of the pet endorsement, then they can reach out to us and we can, give them the resources they need. But for the most part, it's just really random for that other category. But if they have, a sugar glider, then that's that pet endorsement. They can still become a pet partner in terms of their certification. We just may not be able to send them into a nursing home or a hospital. This is what the rank advancements look like. So the youth can print this book off and keep it for the duration of their project. They're designed for 5 different levels. And so the first level is really basically clover bud aged youth. So 5 to 8 would be able to accomplish that first level. And then they get progressively harder as you go. And they're designed to work on over a couple of years. So you're not going to do 1 rank a year necessarily. They're designed so that you just build on each other for a while. And so by the time they're a senior or they're graduating, they should be able to at least get through rank 4. And then rank 5 is for our youth that really push hard and want to do a good job there. The way that we did the rank advancements, and this will eventually bleed over into some of our other ag projects for like our horse and livestock. We've got some of these coming up, is that we've divided each of our ranks into these different categories, because a big part of what we're doing with our youth projects is not only do we want them to develop mastery with their specific project, but we also want to make sure that they're developing those leadership skills and a sense of belonging and independence and those other really essential elements of a 4-H project. So the first section is the team skills, basically. So this is something that they do with their pet. I have the dog rank advancement level 2 up here so you can kind of see how it breaks down. They can pick, there's a smattering of different things that they can pick. So if they have a dog that they don't want to take to the show, there are still things that they can learn at home that help them achieve these ranks. So they've got skills that they would demonstrate. Then there's mastery and education. This is where we want our youth to explain or to teach what they've learned. So participating at a state dog quiz bowl contest or attending a regional state 4-H dog clinic, working with your club leader to come up with your own mastery option. There's a lot of opportunities for youth there. And like I said, this is for all pets. So if you have a youth with a tarantula, we have a rank advancement that they can go through with their tarantula as well. And then for citizenship and personal development, we want them to be developing those skills that will carry over into their other project areas. So submitting a portfolio, holding a leadership position, and things like that. The next section, and this is our most popular, is the pet shows. We held 4 pet shows last year throughout the state, and this is where we get a lot of outside 4-Hers. So 4-H can be really inward facing. If you know about 4-H, then you know about these other opportunities. Your neighbor had a lamb, so that's how you got involved. But our pet shows, we're finding, is a great way for us to draw in youth in the community that don't know what 4-H are, because they want to participate in the pet show because they have a pet at home, and it teaches them, gives them an opportunity to see what else is out there in 4-H. So what the youth do with a pet show is they just fill out a little form. We have like an entry form online. So anyone can hold a pet show. It's pretty easy. We have the rules and everything. The youth bring their pet and with a display, and it's kind of like a science fair, if you will. They have their display with their pet and they talk about whatever they want. So last year we had a girl that had tarantulas. She talked about the different types of tarantulas that you can get and the different needs that they have in her display. And then she did a demonstration on how to feed a tarantula safely, since they're not domestic. And so there's, certain things that you have to do. And it was awesome. And we have had youth do how to teach your dog to play fetch and how to teach your rabbit to do showmanship and different things like that. So the sky's the limit in terms of what these youth can do at the pet show. But the whole purpose is that they get to showcase their pet and they're still developing those leadership skills. So at the local level, what the youth would do is prepare, a speech, a demo, or a poster. And we do a public walkthrough. So the public will walk all through all of the different demonstrations, and they can see what the youth are doing at that point, like with their pet, and ask questions. And then they will also go into a section where they get judged. And so then you can do prizes and stuff. So that's the pet show. The state contest is a skill-a-thon, like I said, and this is going to be held in June this year. We had a lot of fun at our contest last July. We set up different stations, and each station is about a different type of pet. So we did a cat station and a rabbit station and a miniature horse station, and the youth go in as a team and complete it as a team. So it's similar to our hippology contests in that we have a skill-a-thon and there's like a practicum and a written test. but it's different in the way that you can put 3 youth together and they complete each station together as a team at the same time. So you can pull in Johnny, who has cats and loves cats, and Rachel, who has horses, and Jacob that has dogs, and they can complete the contest together so that you have strengths for each of your different stations. The stations are based on anything from, how to put a bandage on a cat, or how to carefully take a rabbit out of a carrier and put him back, or even rabbit showmanship, and all of that is in the curriculum and the rule books and everything. And Bailey
Hey, Jessie, we've got a question here. Did you say the dates for the contest, or maybe general dates? Did you have some dates? Sorry.
Yes. So this is for the State Companion Animal Days, which is June 26th and 27th. And I'll talk about that more here in just a little bit, but I'll put it in the chat so that you guys have that right there. And it's held in Ogden this year, so you guys can kind of prep for that. And then we have a quiz bowl, which is basically pretty self-explanatory, but it's all about that kind of stuff. So, and it's for all age groups. So you can bring a junior team and an intermediate team and a senior team, and they can compete together. And then as a part of that, we're also doing our dog show, our state dog show, so for youth that are interested in that. So that's the state contest. Youth don't need a pet to compete in the contest. They can learn everything that they need at home and then come and compete together. So this is a great way for youth that maybe don't have the opportunity to have a pet because they're, in a split family home, so they're moving a lot, or they're new to your community, those types of things. This is a way to show them, to help them get involved. And then the last option is pet partners. And this is where we allow our youth to become a certified pet partner team. There is only one certified, so Pet Partners is a federal they're federally recognized for training therapy animal teams. And there's only one recognized facility in Utah, and it's Pet Therapy of Utah. They're in Provo, and she serves everything from as far south as Payson and then all the way up to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And she has a 6-month waiting list for facilities that are asking for these pet partners to come into their facilities. And so they're desperate for basically more pet partners. So this is a really cool partnership we have with them, that our youth can become pet partners with their projects and then go on to serve the community in that way. So in terms of the development for this project, we developed all the curriculum for those 8 species that I mentioned earlier. That includes the rank advancement and the pet endorsement. We have the resource book for your general knowledge and quiz bowl, the fact sheets for proper handling, health checks, and all of that. And then we're working on getting some how-to videos produced so that when you're trying to teach youth how to put a muzzle on a dog, you can do it correctly. And then all of this stuff is put into a mobile lab. We have 5 mobile labs that are going to be distributed throughout the state. We'll have 1 in Garfield, 2 along the Wasatch Front, 1 in Box Elder, and then 1 that will be in Logan that I will have access to. So if San Juan wants it and Garfield's running a contest, then we can drive it around. And so that one will kind of travel all over. And what it is in the mobile lab is everything you need to run a contest and to practice for the state contest, for the advocate contest. It has your resource books, your models, and your stuffed animals for practice. And it also has the hippology kit, which is for your horseless horse contest, and some other resources there. Let me open the chat back up. Oh, and Carrie is just saying that these chats are recorded and can be found so that you guys can get all of this information, because I know it's a lot that we're trying to get through. So, so that's what we have available there. Any questions about this? I know I'm talking pretty fast, so we'll have time for some more questions at the end as well.
Can I ask a quick question, Jessie?
Yeah, absolutely.
So as far as dog clubs, is this something that we would encourage our dog club owners and any animal club leaders to encourage their kids to prepare for?
Yes. So the goal is, and one of the things that we found in our research is that youth really like to set goals and be working towards something. That's part of why we have the state horse show and why we do state contests, is because when you can set goals and see how their goals are being accomplished and allowing them to progress, it helps them develop that sense of responsibility and develop leadership and things like that. And so this contest, it's not necessary to have a dog club or anything like that. Of course, we want all the to come to the state dog show and participate in this, but this is just an additional resource to help our reach to more youth.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, great question. So what's happening in 2020? That was actually a really good segue. We have our statewide dog club that we started in January and goes through June. So what this is that any youth in the state can sign up for the state dog club. And I'll explain a little bit about the two different options we have there. The Utah 4-H State Companion Animal Event, which will be in June. Our after-school programming, which I didn't talk about. We're still getting our data from the after-school programs that we ran, but we have kits that our after-school programs can use to teach STEM literacy. We also have just a literature component where youth are learning to read and write, especially for like our ESL youth. And it's all around pet, but it follows the core standards for our new core standards. And so these programs are definitely beneficial for after-school programs. So if you have a school that is interested in running this, let me know, and we can get you hooked up with some of that stuff and those resources. And then, of course, we're hoping to do more pet shows and pet camps in 2020, but that's really up to the counties and where they see a need and if that's something that they want to do in terms of recruitment. So for the statewide dog club, this is for all youth, and we have two different options. The one is in person. This is in Ogden every second and fourth Wednesday. We meet at 6 p.m. in the auction barn, and we have youth from Morgan and Logan, so Morgan, Cache, Box Elder, Weber, and Davis that are coming to that. And then we also have a youth from Utah County that just signed up that will be coming. So this is an opportunity for youth from all over to come and join and see what a dog club is like. And the purpose of this was also so that we could teach our staff and our volunteers how easy it is to run a club. And so we're working with our parents that have joined this club on teaching them the skills and giving them the resources so that eventually we can have an even bigger club in Cache County and an even bigger club in Weber and things like that. So the other option is virtually. So this is a new project that I've piloted just recently where we're doing online clubs. And what we do, the way that it's structured is all the youth still have a role. So we have a president that we assign, a secretary that keeps notes and things like that. We open up our meeting with a little bit of business, and then the youth take over and they lead the activity basically. And so what we do is we just give everyone kind of a general overview of how to use Zoom, how to mute your microphone, how to share your screen and things like that. And then we have a folder online that the youth can download, and it gives them all of the materials they're going to need for club that day so they can just print it out and have it at home. And then we complete those materials and those activities together as a group all over the state. So we had our first meeting last month, and we'll have our next meeting this next Thursday, not a week from today, and had youth we had Rich County, we had Sevier, Iron, Davis, and then Box Elder. So really extended our reach in terms of the youth that we can reach doing this. And if we can do it at the state level, we're going to create some documents to show counties how they can do it on a county level, a more local level.
Jessie, so like a club meeting via Zoom seems really foreign to me. How do the youth take to it? Is it really intuitive? Well, not intuitive, but I mean, does it seem just sort of natural for them to do it via Zoom?
Yeah, so we were a little worried about it, and that's why we did it initially on just a small scale. But they love it. It actually works really well because, so for example, we have a wide variety of age groups. So our youngest he's from Weber, and he's 8, and he has his own dog, but he's not comfortable. He's just not as comfortable like being in a group of people, but he's a lot more confident sitting in his living room with his dog next to him and his computer on his lap. And so he actually like opened up and participated really well, just as much as our 18-year-old from Sevier that was participating. So what we try and do is like, it's not just what I wanted to do was have an example of the meeting for today, but I wasn't able to get it put together in time. I apologize about that. basically I just run the business portion of it, and then we do like 2 or 3 minutes of like your own time where you're filling out your paperwork. Or like this last week we gave them a website link, and they went and they did some research on a new dog breed, and then they created a little PowerPoint, and then they shared their screen and presented what they had learned. It's like a couple minutes. And it was an opportunity that all the youth were able to participate because everyone had a computer in front of them. So they can participate in their home, or you can do like what Iron County is doing, where Angela actually does it in the county office. So everyone can come and participate. And so we have one person on Zoom, and they're all together as a club learning about dogs together. We do the online portion, and then if you have a dog at home, we watched a video on how to make sure your collar fits. And then they went and got their dog and checked their collars, and then came back and reported. So it's so far, I mean, obviously we'd have some kinks to work out, but I think this is one of the cooler things that came out of this project, is that this could be huge in terms of how we run clubs in the future, especially some of our counties that are spread so far, like Fox Elder, for example. Some of those families have to drive 2 hours in to do a club meeting, but if we could do it virtually, then it just really extends our reach. And it's also hard to, justify resources for one kid in severe to run a club all by herself. But if she can be a part of a regional dog club, then it tends to reach that way as well. Any questions about that or how that looks? I know it's really different. So you'd be more than welcome to jump on our Zoom next week and just see how we run it and participate that way. And then, I'd be happy to give you the materials and things like that. So that's our the statewide dog club. And like I said, eventually we're hoping that this will, we're doing it statewide, but we're hoping that each of the counties will be able to take it home and what they're learning and to be able to continue it on the county level. And then the virtual meetings, we're going to start a horseless horse one and then a pet advocate one. If you have youth that are interested in doing the pet advocate contest, but you're not sure if you have a leader that's willing to do the practices, then we can help them practice online and do the study materials and work together and be ready to participate that way as well. So just kind of as an overview, we brought this up, is the Utah 4-H State Companion Animal Days. We're hoping that this event is really outward facing. We want the community to come and see what the youth are doing with their pets and participate in the pet show. It's June 26th and 27th in Ogden at the Golden Spike Arena. And Friday night, we'll have the pet show and the pet advocate contest, as well as one of our state dog show events. And then Saturday will be the state dog show. And the state dog show is open to any of the youth that have been participating in a dog show. We have very different levels. So in some of our other projects, everything's divided just by age group. And the dog show is divided by skill level. So if you're brand new, you would be in the novice division and you'd be competing against other youth that have never shown before. So it's really not scary. They don't have to worry about competing against someone who's been showing for 10 years. And we do 4 different events. So they do obedience, showmanship, and rally. Rally is kind of an obstacle course. It's a timed event. They run up to a cone and they read the sign and they perform the task. So the task might be have your dog sit and walk around it, or make a right turn, or walk fast to the next cone, things like that. So rally is really fun. And then we do agility. So those are what the dog show is doing. And that's what we practice at our in-club practices. And then we also practice for like the pet advocate contest and then the dog quiz one. So all of that will be happening the end of June. Like I said, it's open to everyone, all age groups. And we're hoping that the community will come and be involved in that as well.